Greetings viewers and welcome back. In this video I'm going to cover painting faces to include the eyes and the mouth. It's a very simple technique to achieve, and I'm only going to use the four colors that you see in front of you. They're all Reaper paints. We have fair skin, blush pink, pure white, and pure black. The model that I'm going to be painting for you today to demo this technique is an Imperial Guardsman, if the camera will focus on him. He does have his mouth open, which is why I specifically picked him, just so that we could throw that pink color in there and have a little bit of extra variety, kind of, rather than just painting the eyeballs, and then you can kind of see the technique in practice. So the first thing that I did, I primed the model white, and I went ahead and painted all the flesh colors to include his arms, exposed chest area, and the collar portion of his shirt, and obviously the face and portions of the head. The first thing that we're going to do, I have that pink color. Again, his mouth is open, and the inside of most humanoid mouths are pink, so we'll start with that color. And all I'm going to do is take a really fine tip brush and just kind of throw some pink in the mouth. It doesn't matter if, for pretty much the majority of these, the techniques for painting the faces with the eyes and stuff, it doesn't have to be exact, precise. You're gonna slot paint around, expect that. That's kind of what makes this technique a little bit easier, is the fact that you don't have to be precise the entire way through the painting process. So all I've got is some of the Reaper blush pink on my brush here. And all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try not to move him while I'm doing this. If I do, I'll readjust him so you can see it. All I'm going to do is just jam this in his mouth and make sure that we get the farthest reaches of it colored pink. It doesn't matter if I get it on the teeth or all over his lips. He's not going to have pink lips. It's not going to look like he's wearing lipstick, hopefully. So we just kind of slather that in there just to get the pink all the way in the back of the throat, because it is the farthest away or lowest level color. It's kind of hard to get past all the other colors if we paint the teeth first. So that's why I just throw the pink in his mouth and make sure we get it all in there. So we're going to let that dry, and I'm going to go ahead and hit up the eyes real quick with some white paint, and then hopefully the pink should be dry by then, and then we'll throw some white on the teeth. The only time you have to worry about your precision there with this particular mouth is going to be not getting it back inside the throat, because all we want to paint are the teeth and the actual eyeballs themselves. So I've got some of my Reaper pure white. And then we're going to it's the same technique kind of we just did with the mouth. It doesn't have to be precise or perfect. We're just going to get in here and get the eyeballs and the area around it white, just so that we make sure we've got plenty of coverage. So hit up that side and a little more. And again, no precision at this point. We're going to come back and cover up all our mistakes and kind of paint into and over what we do with this. With the white paint, we'll just paint it back in with the flesh color. So as you can see, like I said, there's just white paint all over the area around his eyeballs. You want to make sure you get it all covered, because if you miss something now, it's kind of hard to go back and touch it up once we paint into it. Now the way I have the camera positioned right now in front of the model, it's tough for me to get to it, so I'm actually going to pull him out of the frame for a second and hit up the teeth, and then I'll show it back to you so you can see exactly what I just did. So as you can see, I made sure not to get any of the white paint on the pink portion back inside the mouth. All I did, I got it over the lips. It kind of looks like he has a milk mustache going on, but that's, again, fine. We're going to cover that up once we're done with the pupil portion of the eyeballs. So we let that dry so that just the area around the eyeballs and his teeth are white. If you have a model that doesn't have any teeth exposed, then the only portion of this that you really have to worry about is the eyeballs. So the next step we're going to do is going to be the pupils. This also is not going to require any kind of precision. Again, I'm going to have to do this off camera. I can't really squeeze in there where you can see it while I'm painting it and then actually do it correctly, so I'm demonstrating the technique for you. But all I'm going to do is put some black paint on the brush, and as tiny of a tip as possible, because his eyes are pretty small, I'm just going to draw a line going from the top, and I'm just going to go just like that, one stroke. If it's very faint or you don't think it's wide enough and you try to do it again, you have to have really steady hands, because otherwise what you're going to end up doing is making the pupil too big, get frustrated, have to go back, cover it up with white, wait for it to dry, and then try again. So try and do this all in one pass if at all possible. So make sure you have plenty of paint on your brush tip and you get to this portion quickly so that it doesn't dry on the tip, so as soon as you touch it, it kind of fades away before you finish the stroke. So you want to get in there and just do one stroke down, maybe get a little more paint if you need it, go to the other side, just right kind of towards the center of the eyeball where the pupil would be, and just draw a straight line down from the top of the eyeball to the bottom. Again, if you get it on his eyebrow, the cheek, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're going to cover all that up after we get this the pupil drawn on there. So the white paint should be dry now. We're going to go ahead and get the pupil on there. On his left eyeball, the right side of the screen, his pupil's a little bit big because I kind of flinched pushing the brush on there and added way too much black paint. So I'm going to have to try and touch that up with some white to get it to kind of slim down a little bit. As you can see on this eye, that should be fine. He does look kind of like an anime character right now, but what's going to end up happening is you go back after this portion, when you're satisfied with the positioning and the size of the pupil, you'll take some of the flesh colored paint and then essentially just go right back and then kind of close that in. So all this white and black paint that got on the cheeks and around where his eyeball is not, you just cover all that up and then make sure you're satisfied with it and block it all in so just the eyeball is done, and it'll have the pupil on there just like you want it to be. The mouth at this point is done. It's kind of hard to see the pink on the camera right now, but the inside of his mouth is pink. His teeth are white. Again, he does have the milk mustache, and his bottom lip is a little white, so I'll do the same thing as the eyeball, get the flesh paint and then go over that and just kind of close it into the mouth so that, again, his face is the normal flesh color, but then only the teeth will be white, and then again he has the pink inside his mouth. Obviously a wash over all this will make it pop a little bit better. You'll still be able to see the eyeballs and the pink and for the tongue and the white for the teeth, and he's got a little bit of scars on his face, so the washes will definitely make that stand out. So let me go ahead and get this eyeball trimmed up real quick, and then I'll block in the eyeballs with the flesh color so you can see what it'll look like once that's done. Okay, so I've got the pupils touched up a little bit. He still kind of looks a little like an anime character right now. So the next step in the process is going to be to take the flesh color and go ahead and work my way in on the lips, up and stopping just at the teeth and around the edges of the mouth and around the edges where the actual eyeballs are. Again, this can be kind of difficult depending on how small the eyes are on the model that you're painting, the size of the tip of the brush that you're working with. So if you've got pretty small eyes, you want to try and get a tiny of a tip as possible. And again, all you're going to do is you're going to take the same flesh color that you used on the rest of it, and then you kind of just get it right around the edges there and just cover up all the extra white and black paint on the tops and bottoms all the way around the entire eyeball. And then again over just to the edge of the lips where it starts at the teeth. So you'll have that pink inside of the mouth, the white teeth, and then everything out here is flesh colored. So I'm going to get my flesh color back out and I'm going to work it in slowly. Again, you want to pay attention to where the actual eyeball on the model starts, because you don't want to make it too big, and again he's going to look like a cartoon character, and then if you go too small you won't even really be able to see the eyes. So just make sure you stop just right, and I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll probably do it on one eyeball, and then that way you can kind of see a comparison between the two, what the final product is going to look like, and then I'll finish out the model. Okay, so here's the model after his left eye and the eye on the right side of the screen has been touched up. As you can see on this side, it's still kind of cartoony, maybe anime looking a little bit. I've also touched up the mouth, so again the only thing on the inside back there in his throat and cheek area is pink, just the teeth are white, and then all the way to the edge of the lips is the flesh color. And then this eye right here has just got the little tiny black pupil and the white eye with all the flesh color around it. So that way, again, you don't have to be pinpoint precise, dropping a pupil on there and try not to slop it everywhere. You can be as sloppy as you want. Just the finished product there, once you start creeping in with the flesh color, is the only part that really matters, where you got to make sure you've got just the right coverage so again the eye isn't too kind of funky looking. It may take a couple practice runs first if it's your first time trying this technique. The most important thing to remember is to try and keep the pupil centered on the eyeball, because if it's not, when you go and kind of box it in there with that flesh color again, they're going to come out looking cross-eyed or something. So just practice it a couple times, maybe some model heads that you're not using if you're particular sprue comes with some extra options. I don't particularly like many of the faces on the models, so if there is a helmeted option, I'll more than likely use that. It's usually simpler to paint the helmets, but sometimes it's kind of unavoidable, and hopefully you found this technique useful if you have a Imperial Guard army or something similar you like painting or unhelmeted heads. So if you found this video useful, please like the video. Thank you to all my subscribers and all the people that have left some comments and feedback on the previous videos. Stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to actually try my hand at making a mold out of green stuff to cast an existing part that I have. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.